Now, dating can be different from country to country, but one thing that I do know is dating in the Dominican Republic. And today, I'm going to talk about the 3 women that you could possibly meet during your travels to the Dominican Republic. And the last one is actually quite shocking, so you may want to stick around to the end. But let's get into the first woman that you could possibly meet in the Dominican Republic. Now, this girl we're gonna call the professional, meaning that this woman has a professional 9-to-5. She could possibly have a college degree. She's well educated. She even could speak English as well. This woman you're most likely gonna meet in the city, meaning Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, the capital. Mainly because on the outskirts of the city, you have Punta Cana, Sosua, Puerto Plata. You have a lot of different smaller cities that people live, obviously, women live, but the economy is not as booming as the capital. They don't have as many opportunities. So you see these women working at, the local bars, maybe a restaurant. In Punta Cana, you see a lot of them. If you're driving over on the beach side of things, you'll even notice it's like a back entrance that a lot of the employees go through to get checked and searched in order to service tourists. So you see a lot of those women working there instead of having a more prestigious job or occupation like an accountant or a banker or a real estate agent or even a receptionist at a nice hotel or something like that. You would see that more in Santo Domingo than Punta Cana, Sosua, and things like that. Now, when you meet this type of woman is just like a regular woman anywhere else. They're gonna wanna be courted. They're gonna wanna go on dates. Now, I will say this, usually that woman there, or usually this woman, is fairly busy. They have a 9-to-5. They could possibly have kids. Here in Dominican Republic, Dominicans are very family oriented. So although this woman most likely won't be going out to the clubs and the night spots, but she has a lot of family endeavors to get to where you're in a foreign country by yourself. You don't have any family gatherings. You don't have anyone to go see. You don't have a bunch of friends to hang out with and things like that. So what happens is us guys, we come down here as single males, and now we're looking for someone to spend this single time with, because now you have so much time on your hands, whether you work from home as a 9-to-5er or you're a remote consultant or you're an entrepreneur with the online Shopify business or something. You sell digital products. Who knows what you do? But all in all, due to you being away from your home country, you now have free time. And that woman most likely will not have as much free time as you. In my personal opinion, with my personal experience with these women, I rarely even link up with these women, to be honest with you. To me, this is probably the better of the 3 women that you're going to meet as far as personality wise, culture, way of life. They most likely will even be religious. They're just more of an all around good person. It's just a little difficult to meet up with this type of woman. Now, the next woman we want to talk about that you could possibly meet in the Dominican Republic is going to be, you guessed it, the worker. Now, this one is straight pay for play. Due to YouTube censorships, I can't say the actual words, but you know what I'm talking about. And this woman is the woman that I actually appreciate and respect. Why do I appreciate the worker? I appreciate the worker because the worker knows who she is. She knows what line of work she's in, and she will tell you outright what she's doing and what her intentions are. So this woman charges you a specific fee in order to spend time with her for a allotted time that she has. Ask her for her price list, I don't know. But these women are more forthcoming with that. Now, what you will get is a lot of single men, black men in particular. They do come to the Dominican Republic to, let's say, ingratiate themselves in the pay for play culture, which is fine. You gotta understand, these guys are coming from the United States, where, you know, maybe they don't get as much play over there from the type of women that they may like, to where you come to the Dominican Republic. And if ladies, you're watching this, you got to understand, you all are beautiful in the United States. My black women, white women, Spanish women, everybody in the United States, there's a piece of beauty everywhere, right? But when you go overseas though, right, men are very, how can you say, we like the most bang for our buck. We're very economical. We're frugal to a certain extent. And this is no matter what this person's socioeconomic background is, no matter how much money he makes, men are usually want the most bang for their buck. So sure, a man who's financially stable, maybe handsome, 6 foot tall, he may get some play in the United States. He still has to pay for dates. He has to be thoughtful and buy gifts and things of that nature. But he usually only gets one, maybe two. When you go overseas, however, you get to take that same $300-400 that you're spending on 1 or 2 women at a time, and you can get 5 to 10 women at a time for the exact thing that you want to do. You're there for a good time, not a long time. And women understand that in the Dominican Republic. So what did they do? They packaged it into a business, and now they charge you for being a tourist and wanting to enjoy your time with a Dominican woman. And now we come to the last woman that you could possibly meet in the Dominican Republic. And if you've stayed all the way to this point, then you're in luck, because you get an actual story with this one from my personal experience with this type of woman. Now, let's just explain what type of woman this is. Now, this one, I don't really have a name for it, but let's just call this one the chameleon. That's the best word I could possibly come up with, because they present themselves as one way, but once you actually get to know them, or once you get to a certain point, that's when they show their true colors. Wolf in sheep clothing type of behavior, I know. With this type of woman is a mixture of the first and of the professional and the worker, meaning that this woman can present herself as a professional. She can be a school teacher, she can work at the hospital, she can be a nurse. This woman from the onset does not seem like she's hurting for any money. She can even work at a restaurant. You're most likely gonna find this woman at her job. One of the things that you want to do is meet women at places that you think good women will be at. This is most likely at their place of business, right? Unless you go to church or something like that, you can see if you can find you a good woman there. But as a tourist, most likely you're just going to be out and about at the grocery store, whether you're at Jumbo or Bravo or something like that. And you're just going to see a chick. You're going to say, hola, ¿cómo estás? Or whatever, however you pick up women. And you're going to get a number. You're going to take her out on a date. She's going to dress nice. She, like I said, she might even speak some English. Most likely she does. And that's what's going to attract American males to these Dominican women even more, is if they don't have that language barrier. Oh my God, it is such a huge turn on for an American man when they meet a foreigner, especially a Dominican woman, someone who they're physically attracted to, and they figure that they like them and they can actually communicate. That's one of the biggest issues in dating abroad, is communication. Communication rules the nation. If you can't communicate with a broad, no matter if she's Chinese, Haitian, Bahamian, whatever the case may be, if you two could, it's even problems communicating with people in English, let alone a completely different language. So this woman most likely speaks English, or enough English for you two to communicate. After getting to know this woman for a short period of time, maybe about a week, eventually she's gonna come with some type of sob story of some sort that she's gonna need your financial assistance with. And I'll give you a story. So usually when I go to a country, I do get on the dating apps, whether it's Hinge or, God forbid, Tinder, if you want more of a fast pace, like a influx of, let's say, talent coming in that you just want to sift through, to where Hinge is a little bit slower, to where you kind of get to get to know one person at a time, especially abroad. In the United States, Hinge is a little bit faster, but abroad, not a lot of people use it. So it is a little slower, but for more action-packed, I guess, for more volume, you're gonna wanna use Tinder for sure. Usually when I touch down, just to kind of see what's out there before actually going out to the clubs or the lounges or whatever, what have you. And I met this girl on the app. Now, she spoke English. I met her on Hinge, actually. She spoke English. She was kind of like Afro-Latina. With me, my preference is black women. Even when I go overseas, I'm going to be looking for a little bit of black woman in any type of woman, in an Asian woman, in a Spanish woman, in a German woman, in a Russian woman. It doesn't matter. I'm looking for black qualities because that's what these eyes have been trained to like and appreciate. So this was more of an Afro-Latina woman. She was a English teacher there in Santo Domingo. She had her own car. I was staying in the Piantini area, so to meet up, I was pretty much walking distance from wherever we needed to meet up. We met up at like an ice cream shop or something like that. It was a very, very cute date. We went to a lounge after that. She looked exactly like her picture. She looked great, in shape, physically fit. So the physical attraction was there. We went to a lounge, had some drinks. Everything was fine. We had a really good time. Took her back to my place. Didn't do anything. At least I didn't do anything. She did something. If you catch my drift. And then that was that. I went back to Punta Cana where I was staying at the time, and she obviously stayed in Santo Domingo. Fast forward, one good thing in which I've spoke about before, and you can even see it in my digital guide about how to kind of travel back and forth with the Caribe Express. It gets you to the main parts of the country for little to no money at all. So we set up a date for her to actually come to Punta Cana. So she set up this woman has 2 kids, by the way, 2 kids, divorced. I don't know if recently divorced, but has 2 kids, divorced, has a job, has a car. Like I said, she even dropped me back off to my Airbnb in Piantini when the date was over. So she came there. The plan was to stay for just a night, Saturday, go back Sunday. So she came over, everything was fine. I paid for everything for her to get there. You know, I hadn't done it before, so I didn't know how much money this would cost. So when we spoke, I was asking her, hey, how much money do you need in order to get here? I knew how much the bus ride cost, but obviously I was gonna give more money to her to just travel, get your hair, whatever you need to get done. But I was asking her for a price. And the problem with these type of women, the chameleon, they won't give you a price for these things. They just want it to be ambiguous. And then when you give them money, whatever that might be, they get to judge whether it's enough or not. So I believe I gave her like $60 or something like that. I think I sent it to one of her friends' PayPal so she can go get it or whatever. And she was disappointed that it took that long for us to come to an agreement of how much to give her, mainly because I was asking her, and instead of her telling me a price, she's telling me the things that she has to do. And that's one thing that I don't like about the chameleon. So fast forward, she did come through, everything was fine, no harm, no foul. She ended up going back, gave her some money to go back, paid for her Uber. Mind you, I'm paying for everything. We're going to restaurants, we're going to lounges, we're just having a good time in the short time that we have together. Mind you, we're dating. She goes back, we're talking, some freak accident happens, and she texts me, and to make a long story short, she asked me for $200, American dollars, to help her with these expenses. I immediately said no, because let me tell you, fellas, I'm 41 years old. I'll be 42 at the end of this year, 2026. And I've been around for a long time, okay? I've been dating for, it feels like, even longer. One thing that I don't do is give women money who don't belong to me. Let me say this again. I do not give money to women who don't belong to me. And what I mean by that is, if you have kids from another man, if you are staying at another location, you're not living with me, I ain't giving you shit. I'm not giving you no money. One, because I don't know how many other men you are doing this with. Just like I can respect the woman who lives by the code of, well, I won't have sex with you until we're in a committed relationship because I don't know how many women you slanging and banging with. That's fair to me if that's how you want to live. You get what I'm saying? But if you have to be walking the walk and not just talking the talk. You get what I'm saying? So she asked me for the $200 and I declined because, like I said, I don't give women who don't belong to me no money. If you're doing something for me, like you're coming to see me, you're doing my laundry, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're giving me attention, you're giving me time, you're giving me physical attention, that's completely different. Some woman who don't even stay in the vicinity as me, I'm not giving you no money because I don't know when I'm going to see you again. After I told her no, she, of course, and she's done this before to where she'll gaslight you in making you feel bad because you didn't give her some money because she need the money. You don't need the money. You ain't ask her for nothing. She need the money, but she makes you feel bad about it and she was calling me like less of a man because I didn't give her money. Now, fast forward, this happened, we stopped talking obviously, but this happened multiple times while I was still living in the Dominican Republic, which is one of the main reasons that caused me to leave the Dominican Republic. Because to be quite honest with you, any woman that I met, whether it was at her place of work, whether it was just out and about while I'm at a restaurant, every single woman was either the chameleon or the worker. And I've just come to a point in my life where I just don't want to deal with either one of those two. So I decided to just not date at all. And to be honest with you fellas, if you're just visiting the Dominican Republic, then that's fine. Make sure that you bring some extra money because these women will cost, okay? And I promise you, it's not what you think. It's not as cheap as you think, okay? Especially if you've been here, years prior, and now you're coming back expecting the same price. Hey, buddy, my boy, inflation is worldwide, okay? It is worldwide. So don't think that you're coming over here spending $20, $30 for a good time. That's not happening. I won't tell you the price. You're gonna have to come over here and find out for yourself. But if you enjoy videos like this, make sure that you subscribe to the page. I do have a Punta Cana starter guide for if you do want to make Santo Domingo, Punta Cana, Santiago, just the whole Dominican Republic, your next destination, then definitely click that link in the description below, and we'll see you on the next one.